Give me the epidural. Like, can I get my eyebrow pencil? I need to fix my eyebrows. Praise the Lord Jesus. Finally. I thought this day would never come. High blood pressure for flipping nothing. Like. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you are following me on my socials, you already know by now, but I have given birth. Yes, baby Bruno is here. Today is Sunday the 7th, 6th of August. I don't know what day it is. I don't know. It's a Sunday. I don't know if it's the 6th or 7th, but it's August. And so baby Bruno is 1 week and 1 day old today. I'm wrapped up in the newborn bubble. I don't know where my head is at, so I don't know what day it is, so who knows. Currently, I'm trying to get rest and trying to get sleep, and my mum is here, which is making everything a dream, literally a dream. Like, I don't even know where I'd be if my mum and James weren't here. Both of them are just making my life so much easier. So this video, I'm going to talk about my labor story and my delivery story. Now this is a long ass labor, okay, trust me honey, but yeah, I'm gonna share what happened, how it went down, and all of that good stuff with you in this video. And I'm gonna probably have another video where I introduce you to baby Brunel. So everything started off on Wednesday. We had plans to go to a hotel, the Arklow Bay Hotel, which is where we got married actually. So we were gonna go back there and have an overnight romantic dinner, sort of a baby moon staycation thing. Okay, so we were gonna go there for the night, but we had an appointment in the Coombe Hospital in the morning, so we were like, we'll go there. We had our bags packed and all our fancy outfits ready because we were gonna have a nice romantic dinner and everything. So we had our bags packed and we were like, okay, let's go to the appointment first and then we'll head down after the appointment. So we got to the appointment on Wednesday, but when we got to the appointment, the doctor was like, she did a bedside scan on me and she was like, ooh, that water looks a little bit low in there. That's a bit worrying because if the water is low, that could mean that the placenta has packed up and it's finished its job, which means that we'll have to have an emergency cesarean section immediately. And his heart rate looks a little low, but that's probably because you're on your back. So she had me turn over, and then when I did turn over, his heart rate picked up again, which was fine. So then all of that kind of got us panicked, and she was like, you're not going anywhere, because even if we don't have to do a cesarean on you, we might just induce you now because you're 37 weeks, and the further on you get, the more likely you are to have a crisis or have problems and stuff like that. So even if we don't need an emergency cesarean today, we might have to induce you tomorrow. Either way, she said, you are not leaving here without your baby. So immediately alarm bells went off in my head. I rang my mom. I was like crying. I was like, oh my god, what's happening? Like, this is not my plan for today. I don't know what's going on right now. So she had us go to the ultrasound department, and she had us have a departmental scan, like a proper full ultrasound scan and Doppler and everything, to check the blood flow from the placenta to the baby, to check the waters around the baby. And the lady was like, everything is fine, the waters are perfect, the blood flow is perfect, his heart rate is perfect, everything is perfect. So literally, like, this doctor had me like in bits crying, thinking that I was going to need an emergency cesarean, like literally that day, right? For nothing. Like, high blood pressure for flipping nothing. Like, she freaked us out. She really freaked us out so much that we were like, okay, let's just get this induction done. Let's get baby out so that, you know, we don't have to go through any of that stress or anything like that. So then we decided we'll just stay and we'll go with the doctor's advice and we'll get the induction. Fine. At the time, I did not really understand what she meant by the induction. I did not understand the induction process. Like, it was never really explained to me what exactly it meant. So I was checked in that Wednesday, and then it was Wednesday afternoon, and I was given a Propess, which is like a little tampon that they put in underneath your cervix, and it helps ripen your cervix. Because when I was examined by the doctor, I was 0 centimeters, not effaced at all, but baby's head was down and engaged. So I was given that, and that works over 24 hours, and it releases prostaglandins into your system, which help ripen and open your cervix a little bit. So after I was checked halfway through, I think about 6 hours or something, I was given another exam, and I had opened a little bit, probably like half a centimeter or whatever. So anyways, by the end of the 24 hours, I had literally only opened a centimeter, and I was still, like, my cervix was still hard and not favorable for breaking the waters. So I didn't realize that this was just the priming process. I thought this was the whole process of the induction. But you actually have to be prepared for an induction before you are induced. So there I was 24 hours later. So this is Thursday now, and I'm just like, when is this baby coming out? I don't understand what's happening. And they're like, it didn't really work as well as we thought it would work. You're only 1 centimeter. Your cervix is still quite hard, not really ready for induction. We'll let you labor. And at this stage, my contractions had Propess, the tampon thing that they put in. It really did bring on my contractions. Like about 6 hours into it, I started getting actual contractions, like, and they were coming then, and they were gradually increasing in strength and stuff. At first they were about every 15 minutes, and then they were about every like 12 minutes, and then I was getting them every 10 minutes, and I was getting about 3 in 10 minutes. So they moved me on Thursday into the labor ward because they thought that I was actually in labor. When you get 3 contractions in 10 minutes, you're in labor. So I was technically in labor then, but my cervix had not opened or ripened anymore. So I was just sitting in the labor room, like getting these contractions, using my TENS machine, wondering when my baby was gonna come, hoping that my baby was gonna come, because they were like, oh, you're probably gonna have your baby by Friday. If it doesn't come out one way, we're gonna cut it out. Like, we're gonna do the section. So I was like hoping that I would labor then naturally. So when they took the Propess out of me on Thursday afternoon, my contractions were still coming, but oh my gosh, I realized that once they took the Propess out of me, I realized the difference between when the hormones from the Propess had worn off, that my contractions were so much more bearable. They were so much less painful, and I realized that I wasn't as drowsy. So the whole time I didn't realize, but the Propess thing had made me really woozy, really dizzy, just really like drowsy. Like the whole 24 hours I was like a little bit loopy actually, and I didn't realize that until they'd taken it out. So once they'd taken it out, then I was a lot more clear-headed, but the contractions were still coming, but I was more able to manage them, and it was amazing. I was still getting about two in 10 minutes, so I was still in labor room, but then overnight my contractions kind of settled off, and kind of like I was getting 1 every 15 minutes then. So they were like, you're no longer in labor, we're going to move you out of the labor suite back into the ward and we're going to try again tomorrow. So then this is Friday now. Friday, okay, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? So Friday morning they're like, okay, we're going to try you with the 6-hour Prostin. So it's like a gel, and they put it around your cervix, and again, it's supposed to do kind of the same thing as the Propess. It's supposed to help ripen your cervix. So at this stage, I'm still 1 centimeter, still not softening, still just annoyed at the whole process that's happening to me right now that I really literally did not ask for. So Friday they put in that 6-hour one in the morning, and then by the 6th hour I was kind of like, that didn't do anything. I can tell that did absolutely zero to me. Like, I can I don't even need to be examined. I can tell, like, you know, that nothing happened, because I was barely getting contractions or anything at that stage. I was still in the ward. I wasn't in labor room because my contractions were like non-existent basically. I didn't even need to turn on my TENS machine. Like, they were literally like nothing. Like, so then on Friday afternoon I was examined, and I was like, this is my last examination, because honestly the examinations were the worst part of it for me. They were so flippin' painful, especially when your cervix is not dilated. They're so flippin' painful. Like, I don't even care what anybody says. The examinations were actually like the worst, especially when the doctors don't let you breathe. They don't let you take time to like mentally prepare yourself. Like, I remember one of the doctors actually, she was like, okay, just take deep breaths, focus on your breathing, and let me know when I can go. And I'm just like, when you can breathe, and then when you can go, okay, go now. Like, you're more in control and it's less painful. But one of the doctors was just like in there, and I actually literally felt violated. I was like, oh my gosh, like, after that, it was 4 o'clock on Friday. I was like, nobody's touching me. I'm not getting examined anymore. Like, I'm done with this whole process. Just give me the section if you're going to give me the section, or whatever. So I had a talk with one of the doctors, and she was actually really, really lovely. I was like, I don't even know why I'm here. I didn't even ask to be here. I didn't want the induction. I didn't want any of this. Like, so this is because the doctor just said, like, we have to get it out of you today. Do you know, the kind of way, like, and because I was so scared at the time, I was like, okay, let's do it. And I didn't realize, nobody explained to me the process of all of this stuff that was going to happen in between before the actual induction starts happening. Do you know what I mean? So So then I had this lovely conversation with this doctor on the Friday around 6 o'clock, and she was like, well, we can't do this section today because there isn't enough medical staff around. And she explained to me why she would rather not do the section for me and why I should wait for the induction. And she explained to me what was actually happening, like why that wasn't actually the induction that was happening, it was the priming that was happening. And she explained to me that tomorrow we could actually do the induction. Like we can go in, get gas and air, even though I'm only 1 centimeter and not really effaced at all, and not really super. I was a lot softer than I was in the beginning. But she was like, we can take you into the labor room, we can give you gas and air, and we can break your waters. It'll be so much easier when you have gas and air. And we'll break your waters, and we'll start the oxytocin, and we'll get you into labor. So I was like, and she was like, either way, we can't do anything until tomorrow, which is Saturday. So I was like, okay, let's do the induction then. Let's go tomorrow, Saturday. So she was like, that's fine. We'll put you first on the list. As soon as the delivery suite is ready, you are next in line. So I'm like, okay, all right, Saturday, it's happening. I'm getting my baby out. So, all right. So we slept that night in the ward. And all the while I'm like, okay, so Saturday, all right, this is the day. It's going to happen. We're going to get baby out today. So then comes Saturday, and we're waiting for a delivery suite. And so it's about 1 o'clock, and they're like, we have your suite ready. Let's go. I'm just like, praise the Lord Jesus, finally. Okay, praise the Lord. So Saturday at 1 o'clock, I got into delivery suite, and so I'm like, I literally had to be like to the doctor, is this it? Is this where I'm staying? Is this where I'm having my baby? Because honestly, I've been moved so many times, so many rooms, I was sick of it. She was like, this is it. You are not leaving this room without your baby. We're gonna start you, we're gonna break your waters, we're gonna start you on the drip. It's gonna happen. So I was like, okay, let's go. So James got the room set up for me. He got my diffuser going with the scents that I like. I got into the shower. I washed myself. I was like getting into my labor gear. I was like, let's go. I got the TENS machine back on me. Wasn't on yet, but I just put the pads on me, and I got like ready. Like I stretched out a little bit as well. And then she was like, okay, let's go. So I got on the bed then, and it was 1:45 before she came in. She gave me the gas and air. Oh my gosh, guys. I have never done weed or drugs or anything like that. Like non-prescription drugs. So when I got this gas and air, I was like spaced. I was like zonked. I was gone. Like I was like, it's so weird when you're on it. You're just like, it's like you're not here, you're like on a different like level, and you're just like watching the stuff that's happening in your body. So I was like on the gas and air. After a few puffs, I was like, let's go. So they broke my waters, and I literally, it wasn't even painful at all. I barely felt it. I felt the tugging, that was it. And so once my waters were broken, they hooked me up to the oxytocin drip then, and that brought on contractions, like oh my gosh, it was painful. The anesthesiast came in, and she was talking about the epidural, and she was like telling me all the things about it, and I was like, yeah, I know all about it. I did the classes, etc., etc. I'm gonna see how I go, and then I might get an epidural depending on how it goes. If I can't do it myself, I get an epidural, no problem. She was like, okay, we'll see you later then, bye. So then once my waters were broken and the oxytocin drip started, I started feeling the pain. I started feeling contractions then. It was crazy. They were some real-ish. Guys, they were some real-ish, honestly. And I think the drugs just made it so much worse. So I was rocking about, I was doing movement, I was doing the ball a little bit as well, and I was using the TENS. I honestly, I powered through those contractions. Like, they were bad, but I powered through them until about 5:30. So she was like, we're gonna check you at 5:30 to see how far you are, because I was 1 centimeter when they broke my waters. 1 centimeter. So she's like, we're gonna check you halfway, kind of about 5:36, and see like how far you are. So it's 5:30, and oh my gosh, by then the contractions were flipping painful. Honestly, never felt pain like that in my life. It was the pressure, because his head was like against my rectum, so it was like literally like feeling like I wanted to shit like a pile of cement. It was just, I don't even know how to describe the pressure to you. It was horrible. It was so painful. So by 5:30, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, she's gonna check me now. I said it to James. I was like, she's gonna check me now. If she checks me and I'm only 2 or 3 centimeters, get me the anesthesiast. Get me the drugs now. Okay, if she checks me and I'm like 8 or 9 centimeters, then we can do this. That's fine. So she checked me. I was 1.5 centimeters. 1.5. Like, I wasn't 5 centimeters, I was 1.5 centimeters. So in the space of that time, about what, 32, 33, 34, 35, about 4 hours, I'd only dilated half a centimeter. I was like, get me, I literally screamed, like I took the gas and everything out. I was like, get me the epidural, like literally, like get me the anesthesias. Oh my gosh, you don't even, whew, I was in so much pain, honestly. So they had to get the anesthesiast then, and by the time they went and found her and she got down, it was about 6 o'clock. And then by the time she got me upright, and oh my god, I literally almost blacked out with the pain. I almost blacked out with the pain when they had me sitting up, and I was sitting on my hips through the contractions, and like sitting on the pressure basically, like. And so it was about 5:30 before the epidural actually started working. So all that time, my contractions were getting stronger and stronger and worse, and the pressure was getting worse and the pain was getting worse. I was like, I thought I was gonna die, honestly. The scents were helping and the music in the background was helping me like power through, kind of concentrate, breathe through them a little bit. But honestly, the drugs were bad. They were so bad. Like the oxytocin just made it so much worse than it should have been, I believe. So by the time the epidural kicked in, it was 5:30. And so then when it started working, it was literally working on the left side. Like my left leg was getting numb. Like my left side here, I couldn't really feel the contractions anymore. I couldn't feel them in my back anymore. It was great. But my right side was still not numb. Like it wasn't working. So they flipped me on my right side, and I was like, and at this stage I had all the monitors on me. I had like the thing for the baby's heart rate, the thing for my heart rate, I had the blood pressure monitor on, I had the thing on my finger, I had the oxytocin drip, I had fluids as well going in. So I had so many things because it was an induction. I needed to be monitored. Everything needed to be monitored. So it wasn't really the birth that I wanted. I would have preferred to have like a more natural, more flowing birth, and like more being able to move more and all that kind of stuff through the birth. But this is what happened to me. So I'm just sharing my story now. Yeah, so where was I? It was working on my left side, so my left leg was going numb and all, but my right side, I was still feeling the pain. So they were flipping me on my right side to see if the gravity would move the epidural down. Nothing, it wasn't working. So they boosted it again, like they gave me like another boost of the epidural thing, and I could literally, like my left side was like going, like it was like gone, but my right side is still nothing. So they were like, we need to get the anesthesiast in, we need to just fix that or whatever. I think at this stage it was probably 7:30. And so she came in and she had to like move the epidural like by like 1 millimeter or 2, and then they boosted it, and I could finally feel this leg like going. But this leg was already super numb. My left side was like falling off the bed. It was just like gone, like literally I could barely feel it. And the right side was now just about going numb, like I could still feel it, but then the contractions on this side started going, and I was like, oh Jesus, praise the Lord, you know. So then it was about 8 o'clock, because they were about to do their shift change, and they checked me again. So the last time they checked me was 5:30, and now it was 8 o'clock, and they were going to check me again. So she checked me again, and she was like, okay, you're 8 to 9 centimeters, and at this stage, like, she was like, I can see the head. So I had jumped in that space of time from 5:30 till it was about 8 o'clock, 20 past 8. Yeah, it was about 8 o'clock actually. That's like 2.5 hours. I had jumped from 1.5 centimeters to 8.5 centimeters, which was crazy. And she was like, well, I can see the head. And James looked, and he was like, oh my gosh, she's got so much hair. And I was like, oh my God, this is it. She was like, it's almost time to push. And I was like, I thought this day would never come. Like, seriously? So at the time as well, it's 8 o'clock, so they had to do their shift changes. So the other doctor was coming in, and she was like, oh, it's almost time to push or whatever, you know. And I had so now the epidural was completely working, so I just got this like burst of like energy, because I couldn't really feel the pain anymore, so my brain was able to comprehend, you know. So I got this burst of energy, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's time to push. I'm so excited, we're gonna meet baby soon. or whatever. So I was like, can I get my eyebrow pencil, please? Like, it sounds really ridiculous. Honestly, it sounds like the most vain thing ever. But I was like, can I get my eyebrow pencil? I need to fix my eyebrows. I need to make sure my eyebrows are on fleek. Okay. And James was like, James thought I was joking. He was like, oh, that's funny. I was like, no, don't mess with me. Get me my eyebrow pencil. So he had to go over and fetch my eyebrow pencil. And I was like, this is me like fixing my eyebrow at like 8:20, like in the height of labor, right? And I just like fixed my eyebrows, and then I was like, I wish I had my makeup. I'd just do a little touch up, but I didn't bring my makeup. It was in the car. So I was like, well, you're not running into the car and missing the birth of our child just so I could do my makeup. Like, don't. So that's when I took that selfie on Instagram, time to push. I just had this burst of energy, and I don't know, I'm just telling you what happened to me. So that's what happened to me. Just got this burst of energy, and I needed to fix my eyebrows. So I fixed my eyebrows, and then the other doctor got all settled in, and she was like, okay, let's see what's happening here. And she literally was like, oh, it's time to push. So she was getting all her stuff ready and everything. I think it was about 9, it was like 9:05 at this stage, and she was getting all her stuff ready, getting her the baby things ready, and whatever she needed ready. So she was like, yeah, we're gonna just practice your pushing now. Just practice your pushing while you're there. Push through the contractions or whatever, if you can feel them. And I could feel them. And my epidural was starting to wear off at this stage, wearing off my legs and stuff. So my legs are going a little bit tingly, but I could still literally, there was like 4 shots in my left side, and only basically like 1 in my right side. So like my feet were still, they were tingly, but my left one was like gone. It was just like gone. So at this stage, then they were like, okay, let's just get you up in the position or whatever, and just practice your pushing, practice through the contractions or whatever. And she wasn't even at me yet. She was just doing her own thing over in the corner. And then she was like, okay, let's try now. So she had my leg up, and she was like, just put your foot on my back there. So literally I had my feet up or whatever, and James was holding this one up because I couldn't lift my left leg. So he was like literally holding my left leg up here. And they were like, okay, it's time to push. I think it was like, it must have been 9:15, 9:17 around that time. She's like, okay, let's try pushing. And literally 3 pushes, and I had him out. 3 pushes. I didn't tear. I didn't need to be ripped. I didn't need forceps or anything. It was just amazing. Like 3 pushes, he was out. It was crazy. He came out with his little fist by his face, like a little superhero that he is. And then they put him on my chest, and oh, I just melted, honestly. He was so tiny, so small. I just couldn't deal, honestly. And so the whole thing ended. It was 9:21 when he was born, so 21:21 on the 29th of July, and he was 2 weeks early, and just 5 pounds 13 ounces. He was just amazing, so strong, such a little fighter. Crazy. I can't believe like all of this happened to me, and 4 days in labor, literally 4 days. It's crazy. So that is it. That is my labor and delivery story. I did puke. I forgot to say that. I puked once during the delivery process before the epidural came. So around 5 o'clock or something, I literally was like, I'm gonna get sick. Because the contractions, they were like a wave of pain. They're not just like, they're not just like cramps in your uterus. Like, it's not just a one thing. So it's like literally like your hips and your back and your uterus, like your stomach like goes rock hard, and then it's like this wave of like nausea or something, you know. It's like through your body. Like I just kept feeling nauseous or whatever, and then because also I hadn't eaten in a long time, and literally I just was like, I'm gonna be sick, and they had to get me like bowls, and I was just like sick in all the bowls. It was horrible. It was so horrible. But yeah, it was such an incredible delivery story. Like, his actual labor took about 7 hours, from 1:45 until 9:21 when he was born. And then obviously after that they gave me the placenta shot, and the placenta came out, and yeah, that was it. Like, no cuts, no tears. Literally I had a minor graze, didn't need any treatment for that. Like, it was amazing. It was actually amazing. He is such an amazing baby. I don't even know what else to say, guys. So that's been it. That's been my labor and delivery story. Thank you so much for watching if you stuck it out to the end. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check me out on my socials so you can see more of little baby H Burnell. Yeah, that's it for now, guys. I'll see you in the next one.